Hello gamers, welcome back to the Games Part 2 of our 132 card review. On the previous one, pretty good reception. We got a lot of views and not tons of comments, but that's always the way it's been with Hearthstone. Just a bunch of avid watchers that kind of suck up the information. If you guys want to comment, I would absolutely love it. I get tons of them on Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous of the videos that I do. Seems like Hearthstone, not a lot of comments. I don't know why that is, so I know you guys watch because I'm looking at the analytics. But anyway, enough of this stuff. Let's talk about the next card. All right, Clockwork Knight. Now this particular card here, I've seen some other reviews of this card. I do watch other reviews. I think it's important to kind of get the advice of other pro players, and this was one of those types of cards where I actually had to just watch what other people think. Now, a lot of people actually thought this card was not going to be like a very well played card. They compared it to the upgraded heal bot on your priest class card that didn't take off as a mech card. However, this is a common neutral card that you can put with any deck. Also, I think that it is a solid stat card at a 5 mana 5/5, giving bonus to another mech. I think this is good in a mech deck, even though mech decks tend to be fast. I still think this is a solid card. It's comparable to like a Loatheb card. Obviously, Loatheb's a little bit more OP than this because it's actually nerfing anybody's ability to spellcast. But turn 5 is an important turn. This isn't like the end all of cards when it comes to like the 5-turn card. This isn't going to be like you're not going to put this down and somebody's going to be like, oh, you know what I mean? But if you actually have another mech on the table, I like this bonus. If you're running a mech deck, I think this is actually a pretty solid card, and I do think this one will be used. So I am giving this one a B. All right, the Argent Watchman. Now, I really like what they've tried to do here, which is make a card that can attack after the fact, that it is put down and played, and then the Inspire mechanic comes in, you put your hero power, and then all of a sudden this one can attack. However, big deal, the attack's only 2. It would have been better if it were a 3 attack. If it were a 3 attack with a 2 mana, it would make more sense, only because you have to use your hero power in order for this card to mean anything, which as a 2/4 card base card, I mean, okay, it's got additional health. It's an okay card, but when it comes down to the special ability of this card, you want it to be able to do something, which means you need 4 mana. Now, if you're at 4 mana, and then you're going to click on your hero power, and then you only have a 2 attack with this card, I don't like this card at all. I'm giving this one an F. Next card. All right, Demon Fuse. Now, 2 mana. Give a demon 3/3, but you give your opponent a mana crystal. I mean, this is ludicrous. So, no. I mean, no. I don't understand why Blizzard does this, because it almost is more hurtful to players of Hearthstone because they think they should put this in a deck. It's not helping anybody. It's not getting anybody towards a legendary. I guess there has to be these cards for players that don't know how to play the game. It's almost comparable to Demon Fire, except Demon Fire is the card that you want for your Warlock deck. It's Demon Fire is +2/+2 on any demon or damage, so it gives you a choice, it gives you an option, which is cool, and I would just say stick with Demon Fire. Do not go to Demon Fuse. I mean, big deal, you get a +1/+1 additional than you would on the Demon Fire card, okay? I mean, and when I say that, I mean an additional +1/+1. I understand this is +3/+3. What I'm saying is Demon Fire is +2/+2, and you get to choose either if you want to do that or the damage, and then the Demon Fuse is +3/+3. Don't do this card. Don't do it. Okay? F-. All right, Spellslinger. Now, this is a pretty solid card. 3 mana, 3/4, Battlecry, a random spell to each player's hand. I am not a big fan of any card that gives a bonus to the other person. I mean, that's my personal preference. That's my bias. I don't see why you should play cards that actually might benefit the other person. This is a card that, if played in a fast hand would work. Mages are really getting a bonus like with this update. I noticed that the mage cards are pretty damn good, and I think that this whole new update, the Grand Tournament, is actually benefiting the mage the most. My opinion, but I've seen enough cards from this 132 set deck to know that I think Mage is probably going to be benefiting the most out of any of the classes. Most of the Mage cards that we've reviewed thus far and will review have pretty decent grades on them. This particular one, I don't know how well it's going to be played. Personally, I think it's hit or miss on this card. I do think it's a solid card as far as its stats. I personally, like I said, don't like when I'm actually maybe helping the other person have the upper hand, and by giving him a random spell card, it might do that. If it had a benefit of, see, now if this were like a 4 mana with a 3/4, right, and you're spending an additional mana for it, but you got the random spell, I mean, that would be a little too OP, but then I'd be like, cool, Spellslinger all day long, I love it. But this one kind of has me in the middle of the road. Only time will tell if people are going to use this card. I think people will experiment with this, and if it does work with the new mechanics as far as, once meta starts changing, you might start seeing this in these types of decks. It is an exciting card to look at, so you might see people just try and play it for the hell of it. But I'm going to give it a C. And a lot of people might be screaming out there like, dude. But I really, personally, not for me. Not for me. All right, next card. All right, Savage Combatant. Now, Savage Combatant's one of those interesting cards that when you look at again, it's kind of like a Justicar, because you're like, wow, this is something very different. I really like this. It's a powerful card. It makes you feel like you should use it right away. But upon more inspection of the card, you start to realize that it's going to be very hard to incorporate in Druid decks that are already existing, because there are a lot of 4-drop cards in a Druid deck. There's Swipe. There's also Piloted Shredder, which is actually a better card than this one, because pitting these two cards up against each other, the Piloted Shredder is always going to win out. You're going to take this card out, Savage Combatant, with the Pilot Shredder, and then you get a 2-drop card. If you think about it that way, this card isn't that great. I do like the solid stats of the card. You've got a 4 mana, 5/4. It's good base stats. Also pretty cool that they're using the Inspire feature with this particular card and getting a +2. +2 benefiting on your 1 attack on your Druid already. Not that great a deal. This thing might be able to survive turn 5, which is good possibility that it will. You can then get a +3 attack, and on turn 5 you will be able to have a +3 attack with 3 mana to spare. Is that good of a deal? Nah, I'm not too sure that it is. You could also use this on turn 6. It becomes more legitimate, taking out the Piloted Shredder, but then it's a null game because nobody's got anything on the table after that anyway. So if you really start to think about that, and that they already will have a lot of cards in a Druid deck that you'll have to take out, then this card becomes less feasible of an idea to use. Still a very solid card in its base stats. Kind of cool they're using Inspire with it, but in the regards of the context of which I laid out for you guys, I don't think this card's going to be... I think a lot of people will use it, but I think in the end what's going to happen is people are going to realize that maybe it's not good. Now, you also get into stacking an attack on a Druid, which I don't even think would be advisable, starting with a +1 base on your Druid's attack, so on its hero power. So all in all, I'd say I'm giving this one a C, middle of the road, because somebody may be able to do something with this card, but I don't see how it could be implemented or used correctly right now. Next card. Okay, Argent Horserider. You're going to hear something that probably you haven't heard if you've been watching a lot of these types of videos from other people who are a little bit more established or well-known than myself. But I will say this about this card that's going to be shocking. This is going to be a game changer, and people are probably like, dude, why is this guy even saying this about a 2/1 card? Well, this card, you know, is an earlier play on the Argent Commander card. Okay, he's got charge. That's a bonus. So you can get a 2 attack on the 3 turn with this guy. If you play this on turn 3, you can get a 2 attack on your opponent's face. Okay, 4 turn, if you're going up against a paladin, or if you're going up against a druid, this thing is still protected. So this card is still alive primarily, unless the opponent has something else on the board. But most likely he's not going to go after this card. Maybe he might, but most likely he's going to go after face. So you might get another shot at this. They might not hit anything with the 4. Like an AoE era of effect card where your shield's still up on turn 4. And then turn 5 comes around, and then maybe now this thing's in jeopardy. But you have 3 chances to hit the opponent's face with this if done correctly. I know turn 5, if you go up against a sludge belt or a taunt, then that kind of ruins this. But I feel like this card could be a sneaky card in the fact that you could most likely get at least 4 damage on the opponent for a 3 mana card. And then by turn 6 also using the Argent Commander for the charge as well with a Divine Shield. Like these two paired up together are pretty nice. You wouldn't even need the Scarlet Crusader anymore, even though the Scarlet Crusader is a 3/1 with a Divine. This one has the charge. Scarlet does not. This one has a charge and an earlier turn. So you could possibly get up to 6 damage against the opponent on a 3 mana card. And I think that is something that could kind of be a game changer. I think you could incorporate this very positively into a deck. It is a common neutral card. It would work in other decks as well. It's conducive with other classes. So I like this card. I personally think it could be a kind of a game changer. You might be seeing this a lot more, where people are trying to take the early game and go with the rush more. You're going to see this card be a little bit more prevalent. It's an annoying card. It's one of those cards that when you're playing against it, you want to get rid of it, but you just can't seem to do it. So, or if you want to get rid of it, you're using a lot of mana to get rid of a 3 mana card if you're going up against this. Another reason why I like this card. So really, I'm actually going to give this card an A because it's different. I like the fact that there's a charge and a divine on it. And I'm going to give it an A, and I'm going to incorporate it maybe in a deck and play it on the road to legendary. So that's a series on my channel. Why aren't you guys subscribed? Subscribe, please. All right, shameless self-promotion is over. Next card. All right, Master of Ceremonies. This card's really interesting because its primary focus and battle cry is on having a minion already on the table with spell damage. There aren't a lot of decks that focus on cards that are spell damage. You've got the Mage using Drake, the Thalnos card. There's a couple cards you can use in combination with this card. It is only a 3 mana card. To imagine that you could play this mid to late game, because you'd almost have to. I mean, you could do the Thalnos and then not have that much. That's an option. You can use this with Blood Mage Thalnos, and then you could get a +2/+2 buff on this, making it a 6/4 card by mid game. I don't know, because I haven't seen a lot of decks incorporate spell damage correctly. I haven't seen a lot of people focusing on decks being built. In fact, I kind of want to build a deck like that, and this card would work with something like that if I can construct a deck like that. However, currently with decks that I see being used out there, this card, while cool, very cool card, has no use at this particular point in time until somebody can actually create a deck focusing on just spell damage. And if you guys know of any, put them down in the comments below and we'll look at that and maybe do a video on that at a later date. But because of that, I would have to say that I like the card. I just don't see functionality from it at this point. But I think in the future, this one may have hope. So I'll give it a C. Next card. Flame Lance. Ooh, shiny toy, right? No, because see, this is what Blizzard does. I think as a head fake, they do this all the time. You see the 8 damage on there, and your eyes get real big, like wow, 8 damage. And then you read the fine print, and then you notice that you can only hit minions with it, right? But not only that, adding Salt to the Wound. It's 5 mana, so. No, this is an F. This is just a straight F. I mean, big deal. You can take out a giant if you want it with this. There's other cards. It's a mage class card, so like there's other cards that are much better than this. There's polymorph. You know, I'm not even too hip with like fireballs anymore because like fireball mages, the 6 damage is nice as far as just being able to like. The damage that you can target either face or you can go after minions is nice, but 6 damage just doesn't seem to be like enough for fireball anymore. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not playing mage as much anymore, but you're seeing a lot more control mage decks out there anyway. And this card, personally, being a 5 mana and you can only hit minions with it, is just a solid straight F. And you'll see a lot of new players look at this and they'll incorporate this in their deck, not realizing that this is actually not benefiting them at all. It's hurting them just because they see that 8 damage. And that is not, first off, never spend that much mana for something that does some damage only to a minion. Nah. F. Alright guys, thanks for watching. This episode's a little bit shorter, but I wanted to put another video out every day on these cards. I will be putting other videos out as well. Thanks for watching, gamers. If you're not a gamer, please subscribe. Check out our Steam group. Amazing group of people here on the channel. Please check out my Patreon page. Oh my god, I need help. We need new equipment. We need more games. And obviously, we're going to need to buy this expansion pack, which is $50. So if you guys have like a spare dollar that you can donate, go to my Patreon page. Please, please, please help us out here. It's not just me you're helping. It's everybody that's involved here in the community. Thanks for watching, gamers. See you on the next vid.